Here is Immortal Moments for explanation. Friends, like videos and subscribes to our channel. Immortality Season 6 Episode 2 Explanation. So let's start our explanation. This amazing throughput. Kunpeng is not an ancient behemoth, even on the Qianlong. Is it? Is it that Meng Xiaobai refining the hatching out? Fang Han listened to the words, his eyes turned. There was a sneer in the corner of his mouth. That is impossible. It is not so easy to hatch Peng Peng. Even if he hatched Xiao Xiaopeng, there is not such a large throughput, unless it is Meng Xiaobai who really cultivated the parasitic cockroaches and put his own life. Can be combined with Kunpeng's life, can be changed into a person-like, non-human, like a demon is not a demon, like a ****** is not a god, like the existence of magic and non-magic. This is the amazing ability to absorb the vitality. Shaking his head, but there is no kendo. It is only good at swordsmanship. It doesn't seem to be the legendary parasitic scorpion, and it won't be distracted to learn the magical mystery. Moreover, this magical power is only the rumored ancient demon god. Meeting. I know. Fang Han seems to think of something. Don't forget, the ancient demon of the 5 elements. If he does not have a parasitic paradise, the ghost will not believe. Meng Xiaobai has also been the land of the 5 elements. I calculated that there is a possibility of 90%, and the parasitic scorpion is taught to him by the ancient demon. It seems that the ancient demon sect said that he did not regard him as a pawn, but he still arranged some hands and feet. When Meng Xiaobai used the paralyzed parasitic scorpion to live in Kunpeng, how much will the strength be raised? How does it look like a big voice? The spirit of the Blood Knight King fluctuated, sensing the power around him. It now feels that the entire Yuhuamen mountain is centered on the mountain where Meng Xiaobai lives, and all the airflow is projected to him. And it is swaying all the time. This power is really amazing, at least it doesn't. The strength is indeed strong, but in the end it is so strong, I don't know. Because the egg of Kunpeng has never appeared, what is it after the parasitic, no one knows. The sly smile, but the cold it seems that you have an opponent again. If you want to beat him like a dead dog, I am afraid it is still difficult. Is it? Then I want to give it a try. See if my life is powerful, or if his life is strong. This time I return to the martial art, I want to beat him. Fang Han is more contemptuous than laughing. In the land of the 5 elements, he challenged one door by one person and killed 2 Jin Dan Song Wei in an instant. Zhao Shuani has already established his own invincible confidence. How do you do it? Now kill him on the mountain, and slap him directly. If you talk about the kid, I can't understand it. Last time we chatted in the cloud, he came up and shouted and killed. It's hard to get rid of his meal. Nebula baby waving a small fist. He is not a matter of urgency. Anyway, the Shanhe list competition will begin. By then, all the inner disciples and outside disciples will return to the martial art. When I defeat him on the heavenly platform, let everyone see clearly, it is a blow. When he is confident, now we will go back to the peak and sort out the harvest. We will refine the palm of the demon ****** and arrange the dongfu. Then Fang Han snorted and his face showed a mysterious calculation. It seems that he is planning another. What conspiracy? Compared with the killing of 2 Tai Jin Mendan masters, the battle with Meng Xiaobai seems to be of no importance. The most important thing about Fang Han is to arrange the future things, but also to do things in the 5 elements, report to the head of the wind, White Feather No. At the same time, it is also very valuable to honor Zhao Shuani's 6-Ming seal. Fang Han always felt that this 6-eye sealed the monument still has some powerful points. Not so simple, baby. If it can cooperate with the supernatural powers, it should be very powerful. Moreover, among the Jin Dan of Zhao Shuani, there seems to be a supernatural power that communicates with the 6 eyes of the gods. If they can mutually understand each other, it seems that they can raise their own strength again. The only thing that Fang Han must consider now is to be promoted to Shentong 7 Golden Dan. Jin Dan is a big threshold. Once it is built into Jin Dan, Shou Yuan will rise again. Fang Han's lifespan of more than 2,000 years may rise to 5 or 6,000 years, or even 7,000 years. And the strength will advance by leaps and bounds. After refining the 9 ghosts, it is not impossible to defeat He Tian. Hey! Regardless of the breath that was conveyed on the peak of Meng Xiaobai, Fang Han quietly returned to his own reincarnation. At this time, in the reincarnation of the Fengdan room, only the witch and the Hongyi County masters sat cross-legged, facing the 5 prisons. The dragon kept the breath, the middle of the 5 prisons, and the fire pillars floated. There was a palm with no fingers inside. The palm of the hand was black and inky, and it was covered with magic lines. There were also many secret spells. It was the flesh and blood left by the demon god. Before Fang Han and Indigo, Fang Qingxue had been refining for a long time, but it was not able to refine this flesh and blood. However, now Fang Han has become a life-saving symbol, and his strength is 10 times stronger than before. It is time to refine it. How is the fire so small? Fang Han suddenly said. Ah. The witch and the Hongyi County lord saw Fang Han coming in, and they were all surprised. Then the main station of Hongyi County stood up calmly. Not all of them are Meng Xiaobai. This time he does not know what magical power is being cultivated. Every moment, I have to swallow a huge amount of vitality. The essence of the fire has been captured by him. It is even the essence of the sun in the sky, and 99% of it has been taken to his own peak. No wonder I feel wrong when I come in. Fang Han nodded. The essence of the fire is necessary for every disciple to practice alchemy. This Meng Xiaobai really ignores the life and death of other disciples, and only cares about his own cultivation. Don't take care of him first, wait for me to arrange a few bands in my own mountain. Then, others will not dare to break into it. Fang Han took a picture of Huang Quan, and a picture of 1,000 rounds of the moon, soaring. Then there were a total of 81 flying swords flying up, and then I entered this picture. In the twinkling of an eye, the swords and the air burst into the sky, turning into 1,000 rounds of the moon, up and down the revolving peaks. The cycle is endless. This is the Yang Yu Jianzhen, obtained from the stolen moon thief. One of the arrays is the best treasure, and the 81 sword flying sword is the top quality treasure. The array and the sword are combined together, and the Yang Yu Jianzhen is the best array for guarding the mountain gate. The next step is this set of ghosts. Fang Han took another picture of Huang Quan, and countless black smoke rushed, and the whole Danfang was suddenly stunned. This is one of the 3 treasures of the Ghost Emperor, a set of magic weapons of the big ranks, WAN Guiling Flag. Fang Han now re-refining it and once again turned into a large mountain. This large array is extremely powerful. In the beginning, if it wasn't for the nose of the nose, it was specially restrained. Fang Han was completely trapped in the ghosts and could not come out. However, Fang Han will certainly not let it go out like this, and he will make a ghostly stagnation. He wants to use the holy water of Huang Quan to wash away the suffocating air. Only pure power is left, and then various magical powers are injected. For the Wanling, turned into the giant spirit of the Guardian Mountain. Because of the great power of Panwu, there is a way to refine the magic weapon. Panwu vigorously magical, and the vastness of the sea, Fang Han has not gone to the detailed understanding until now, because the fundamental understanding cannot come. Too many exercises are distracting. However, it is not difficult to learn from the technology of refining the magic weapon. Puff. Fang Han spurted a scent of fairy tales. At the time of Fang Han refining the magic weapon, many of the true disciples' peaks were also being discussed. After Meng Xiaobai came back, I don't know what kind of supernatural powers I cultivated. Every day, I made such a big sound. The essence of the fire in the land of 1,000 miles, he wants to draw so much, even if it is the essence of the sun and the moon in the sky. The star's force has also been sucked away 99. What is he going to do? A cultivator has reached the top of the supernatural powers of the gods, and some of the gods have a heavy mana, 2 infuriating, 3 size, for yin and yang sects are gathering, and there are several elders of the Feather Gate. This disciple of the 5 heavens is called the Real World War. He is tall, but he is not wearing a robe, but wearing an armor, a fist, and a back, all of which are spurs. It seems to be a magic weapon, and it seems to be a magical power. It's like something like a sorcerer's hand. This real battle of real people not only cultivated the magical power of the feather door, but also got an ancient treasure, 100 battle armor. The best treasure, and the flesh and blood, is very powerful. Moreover, from the armor, he realized a supernatural power, and the Battle of Xian Gong was a powerful figure among the disciples of Yu Huamen. He usually gathered a lot of disciples. Hundreds of war brothers, I know this early, you simply don't be a true disciple. How good is it to be an elder? I am practicing in the Temple of the Feather, and I have rich resources. What do you mean by trying to figure out the big head? An elder said. It turned out that this elder, who was a true disciple more than a decade ago, later did not compete for the big position and went to repair. Yeah, the talents of the recent disciples have come forth in large numbers. Fang Qingxue has been trained as Jindan in the past, and Meng Xiaobai is now so powerful, and the Fang Han who went to the Wild Temple to find the roots of the 5 elements is very powerful. Roll. You are still an elder, and you are not interested in fighting for them. Oh, that's not necessarily. If there are 2 tigers fighting together, there must be a wound. I will wait and see what happened. Besides, you can become an elder and you can support me. I am still less than 1 in the practice of the monk. A lot of people. The real battle sneer, but I heard that Meng Xiaobai has to wait for Fang Han to come back and give him a good look. You said, who wins and who loses? Meng Xiaobai's winning face is bigger. Several disciples said. Just then, suddenly, bright brilliance came from the sky. Hey? What is that? Several disciples flew up quickly, and they saw the reincarnation peak where the prescription was cold. The swords were vertical and horizontal, and the moon was floating. A big array, the power is strong. The sword is so fierce. Isn't Fang Han coming back? Thousands of bright moons, 81 swords, the formation of the big sword array. Let me think about it. Yes, this is the 3rd infamous thief at sea, which ranks 3rd, and the stalking murder the big array. The usual power is earth-shattering. I heard that every night of the full moon, this sword array can even provoke the power of the Taiyin tide. The power can be enough to smash the beautiful device. Strangle all things. Suddenly, I saw that the 1,000 rounds of the moon were floating around the reincarnation peak. The real battle was called, and he recognized the origin of this grand sword array. Yes, this is the baby who stole the thief. An elder also recognized it. How could it fall into the hands of Fang Han? Did he kill the thief in the 40 Thieves? How could this be? The thief was a very powerful Jindan master. It is rumored that some of the repairs and the sects of the small sects that have been repaired have been seriously assassinated by him. Don't say it, there is this possibility. If he kills the thief, there is still a lot of rewards. There is nothing. The reward for Wangguixian Island is not enough for Fang Han. It is rumored that he auctioned a price of 260 million yuan in the Qiandao Pavilion of the Great Xian Empire. A unique piece of pure yang treasure, Da Fan Guang Ming Ming. This person's wealth is unimaginable. What is the use of more wealth? It is not useful to cultivate the realm. After all, he has not practiced Jindan. It is killing and destroying the enemy. All of them rely on 2 pieces of equipment. Huang Quantu and the magic knife are bloody. Although it can be awe-inspiring, but for a long time, it must be too dependent on the magic weapon, which has a great hindrance to the progress of cultivation. The real people of the 100 Walls shook their heads, so I am not optimistic about the fight between him and Meng Xiaobai. However, the next moment, he shut up, his eyes looked like a cow, blood red, and his breathing became heavy. Because suddenly the ghosts roared, the ghosts and gods crying from the reincarnation peaks, countless black clouds condensed and formed, thousands of grievances flying inside, full of 500 black flags, suspended in thousands among the grievances. There are a lot of magical flames, and the magic flames are flying everywhere. It is also a large array of guardian gates, which is several times stronger than the Yang Yu array. And it is the magic door to treasure. A huge magic array, with a lineup. What is this? A powerful magician. 500 poles of the flag, it seems to be the legendary 60,000 ghosts and souls. This is the magic weapon of Huangquan Mozong elders, who are close to the longevity secrets. Wan Guiling Flag. How could it be in the hands of Fang Han? Could it be that he colluded with the Ghost Emperor? In addition to the real people of the war, many of the true disciples were alarmed. Even in the Temple of the Feathers, some elders flew up to see what went wrong, and whether they were in the cold. However, in the ensuing situation, they let them breathe a sigh of relief, because Fang Han's body appeared in the boundless ghost cloud, behind him, covering the magic hand, with 5 colors of light. In the rolling magic cloud, grab the photo. Every time you take a photo, you will send out a large number of symbols, as well as the earthy yellow. In an instant, those intensive ghost clouds suddenly become pure and transparent under the scrub of the water, and those grievances are gradually transformed into another kind of pure vitality, which condenses into a height of 1 foot and 6 feet in the sky. The body is full of colorful armor, strong and powerful, with infinite explosive power. Giant Spirit. The protector of the gods in the Tao. It turns out that Fang Han is going to refine the Wan Gonglingchi into the giant spirit flag recorded in the Panwu Hercules. Panwu, vigorously magical, is originally the method of the fellow practitioners of the immortal. There are some means of refining the magic weapon, is to transform the magic weapon into a fairy baby. The power is one step further. Fang Han is not very good at refining the magic weapon, but it is powerful in strength. In addition, there is a veteran who is helping to give pointers. At the same time, he has also observed the king of ***** knights, but he has a little experience, so it's easy to make it. 500,000 10,000-year-old ghost flags are constantly transformed into giant spirit flags. Among them, thousands of grievances are connected and turned into giant spirits. Fang Han constantly puts some Tianmudibao into the flag body. The power is even more. The thorns of the thief, the magic weapon of the burglary, but there are some natural treasures, rare materials, is suitable for refining. Looking at the huge magic hand in the sky, there are thousands of ghost flags that are constantly transformed into giant spirit flags. Many true disciples and elders are stunned. They naturally feel the powerful power inside. At this time, the reincarnation peak of Fang Han, the sky is shining, the momentum is almost equal to the peak of Meng Xiaobai, and there is the peak of Qianju in the central Huatiandu. Yang Yu Jianzhen was originally a powerful sword array. After the arrangement was down, it was simply not evil. As long as people entered the sword array, they were smashed by thousands of moons and 81 swords. Powder, especially on the full moon night, the power of this sword array can provoke the tides of the Taiyin and the lethality. The giant of the giants is even more powerful. Every pole can be used to live in a giant spirit. This giant ***** is like a thunder, changing infinitely, tearing the mountain peaks, vomiting the giant spirits, and being able to capture the essence of the sun and the moon, the heaven and earth aura, all kinds of grass and soul. They can also be connected to form a giant squad, which is more powerful than the Yang Yu Jianzhen. The success of the 2 guards of the mountain guards is probably the master of the 9 heavy masters of the Shentong. It is difficult to shake the peak of the cycle. It's just like a golden soup. Wan Guiling Flag. That is the ghost of the ghost flag? And that magic hand is the ghost of the emperor's cover, the magic hand. When the ghost emperor killed a floating cloud, with a cover of the sky, a scattered martial art cloud, the sect of Zhongshu, the master of Jindan, was killed. The floating cloud blew himself out of Jindan, and the ghost emperors all flashed away, and only suffered some minor injuries. All of them are the credit of the sorcerer. Where is the ghost of the demon emperor? Why is it falling into the hands of Fang Han? Is the ghost emperor killed by Fang Han? That is impossible. Yeah, the supernatural power of the ghost emperor is almost the most powerful person under the master of the longevity secret. Hua Qianju brothers are not necessarily able to kill him. How can it be killed by Fang Han? Is it Fang Han by Huatiandu? The brother is still amazing. Fang Han kills the ghost emperor. That is impossible, but the cover of the magic hand, the ghost flag, is in his hands. What is going on? Even if Fang Han is the ghost of the emperor, it is impossible to put the best magic weapon for him. Countless disciples were shocked when they saw this scene. Fang Han's refining magic weapon made the sound of earth-shattering, and immediately suppressed Meng Xiaobai's voice. At this time, Meng Xiaobai, who practiced in the mountain, seemed to notice the movement of Fang Han's side. The huge spit seems to stop. He was watching the movement and saw what was going on. The true disciple who was present was not shocked. Even Fang Qingxue on the Purple Peak, as well as Wan Luo, Ling Bai, Indigo, and even some of the elders in the Temple of Feathering were alarmed. It's so powerful. I still have to mix it in the future? Is he really getting the 5 elements? I still want revenge, but now it seems that revenge is only a luxury. No, I am not willing. Not willing. Wan Luo looked at the shocking weather conveyed on the reincarnation peak, and his heart roared angrily. However, next, things made him more desperate. A group of dark flesh and blood palms, the volley rises up, it is the palm of the demon god. In the air, the squirming, the cold clouds and the fog, standing in the sky, screamed, "Give me broken." At this moment, his life is rising, and the 5 colors are shining. He suddenly shines through the entire Yuhua mountain, a stock of Shangyun, Weiqi, and the sound of blowing the snails and hitting the drums. The sky seems to be bursting. Shaking, there was a loud voice everywhere in the void. I don't know where it came from. Boom! This life symbol hits the flesh and blood of the demon god's palm, and immediately bursts open, turned into countless black blood rain, landed down, all fell into the 5 prisons. 55 kinds of great supernatural powers. There are 55 great magical powers in his life. Suddenly, the indigo screamed, and the sharp voice reached the mountains of the Yuhuamen. All the disciples were already shocked and numb. What is the concept of the 55 great powers? God, it's really 55 kinds of great powers that have been condensed into a sacred symbol. How did he accommodate 55 great supernatural powers, and that he was not afraid of exploding and dying? I have 9 powers now. The mysterious real person almost spit out a blood. This is more people than the dead. My Jindan is only afraid to collide with his companion, it must be broken. I will blue Jindan, I am afraid I will not be able to blow this plague, the 5 emperors of the great devil, 55 great magical. Wan Luo felt that bitter water came out from the bottom of my heart. Blow the snail, hit the drum. This is the potential of Chengxian. We have feathered the door, how long has it not been such a genius disciple? Hey! As soon as the door of the Palace of Heavenly Sentences was opened, the elders of the heavenly penalty flew out and looked at the cold prescriptions. He shouted. When Fang Han's life is out, everyone feels terrible. It is really a big horror. The power of this life symbol is suspended in the air, giving everyone a sacred, vast, majestic, artistic, immortal, subversive, brilliant, etc., etc. without any big words that can be described as words. Everyone feels that in front of this life, it is very small, even if it is a level of Jindan Master. I also feel that this will be able to kill them instantly, even if the self-destruction of Jindan is useless. Originally, Meng Xiaobai's breath of breath can swallow the sea, and the momentum covers the sun and the moon, but Fang Han's life is a symbol, so that everything is eclipsed. The center of the entire feathering gate became a reincarnation peak. At this moment, Tiandu Peak seems to be a shortcut, and the Jiogong Jintao suspended in the Tiandu Peak is completely devoid of light. When you are in the same door, I am going to the Wild Temple to find the 5-shaped spiritual roots, but there are some seizures. The thieves of the thief, and the traitor of Huangquan Mozong came to kill me. Zhu Xian has stolen, and other people have been killed by me. You don't have to panic. All the magic weapons of the Ghost Emperor have been refining by me, without any magic. If you are interested in the same door, I invite everyone to watch it. My reincarnation peak. Fang Han suddenly made a sound. What? The Ghost Emperor was really killed by him. Stolen thieves, star thieves are killed by him. It's too fierce, and even the supernatural powers that have changed their lives to the heavens have been killed by him. Jindan kills 2 at a time. Will there be rivals between heaven and earth? It's no wonder that he said that he has challenged Hua Tiandu in 10 years. Is it only 2 or 3 years now? It's already so powerful? Maybe after 10 years, can you really kill Huotian? You know, Huotian, although they are stronger than the Ghost Emperor, Fang Han can kill the Ghost Emperor, and is not afraid of the other side's world law, self-destruction, how many powerful means. It is true that Huotian can defeat the Ghost Emperor, but it is impossible to kill the master of the existence of the Ghost Emperor. In the rumored martial art, it is too unbelievable to organize disciples to go to the outer periphery of the sea to smash the 40 thieves, that they can't think of Fang Han's trip back and kill the 40 thieves. I originally thought that after hundreds of years of embarrassing the door, we will be Huotian, but it seems not necessarily. Several elders in the Yuhua temple whispered. This son. I used to find trouble with him before. The great elder Kim Illinois was scared of a cold sweat. He was the father of Jin Shatai. He used to think about the troubles of Fang Han. Now think about it, some fear. He is just a master of the magical 5-day world. Although he has some status in the martial art, he can kill him instantly with a finger. Fortunately, now Huotian has gone to Taiyiman, borrowing things, and wanting to step into the longevity secret. Otherwise, I am afraid that the two are fighting again. Fang Han issued an invitation to the various true disciples of Yu Huamen, but many people are talking about it. It is not that they dare not meet the cold, but because it is too shocking, it is not a reaction. Everyone's head is screaming, even including many elders. The reason why Fang Han has made such a big momentum is to shake down the martial art, suppress the momentum of Meng Xiaobai, and at the same time establish a majesty for himself, so that everyone in Yu Huamen attaches importance to himself and understands his own value and status. In this way, if there is too much pressure to apply pressure in the future, the feather door will not easily give up on itself and lose the car. At this time, he has placed the Yang Yu sword array on the reincarnation peak, the giant spirits, and the smashing of the palm of the demon ***** with the life symbol, turned into blood rain. The following can refine the remedy. But this is not enough. Qingdi Muhuang, who are you all things? He pointed his hand, suddenly in the head of the life of the symbol, sprayed a blue thunder cloud, shrouded the entire cycle of peaks. Suddenly after a thunder in the thunder, there are a lot of blue rain, and many of the spirit trees that were originally planted on the reincarnation peak, the medicine fields are full of vitality, especially the pieces of ginseng, Ganoderma lucidum, snow lotus, dragonfly, huangjing, shouwu, tianma. The original year is still shallow, there is no medicine, but now it is watered by this rainwater, and suddenly the fragrant herbs are revealing a sense of vitality. In the eyes of everyone, the medicinal materials are inflated by madness. The ginseng, which absorbs the blue rain, grows with arms to thicken. In the land, like a baby, keep breathing. Suddenly, every ginseng made a slight bang, as if it was undergoing metamorphosis. Silk, silk. A glimpse of white mist infiltrated from a ginseng, gradually condensed into a white baby shadow, around his own ginseng body, running around cheerfully, exuding powerful the medicinal. It's getting fine. That ginseng is getting fine. Shop everything you need. See more. Shop everything you need. See more. Shop everything you need. Open AliExpress app. Shop everything you need. See more. A disciple observing outside the mountain exclaimed, "This disciple is a supernatural atmosphere of Shentong, and his mana is still somewhat shallow, but his eyesight is very strong. Qingdi Muhuangong is so powerful, actually able to put a ginseng that is not in 3 years in a short period of time, and to generate fine? This is really..." Some disciples are screaming. After the ginseng and the Ganoderma lucidum are refined, they will condense their own medicinal scent into an illusory form. The longer the medicinal material is, the more stable the condensed form of the medicinal gas will be. Until the end, it has been subjected to the thunder of the heavens and not died. The form of gas condensation will gradually transform into a flesh-like existence, and this tree will become a demon, stepping into the mysterious secret. You can also abandon the body and travel around. Otherwise, the light is pure grass, cannot be separated from the body is dead, they will die. In the secular, some 700 or 800 years, thousands of years old trees, occasionally captured the essence of the underground spirit, will also become fine, such as peach tree essence, will become a beautiful woman at night, seduce the teenager, draw their young essence, to nourish oneself, but this kind of tree essence will be killed by some Taoist, or collected back, refining the magic weapon. Of course, there are fewer and fewer trees in the fine, especially the Ganoderma lucidum, the medicinal herbs such as ginseng, which are even less pitiful. After they are charged, they can be refined and refining. Many enhanced mana, and even increased the life of the yuan, the life-saving spirit. General ginseng, Ganoderma lucidum, for years and years, has accumulated a huge amount of potency to become fine. But now, the medicinal herbs that were originally only 2 or 3 years old have been spurred by this blue rain. This is really too horrible. You must know that among the peaks of the various true disciples of Yu Huamen, only the peaks of Huatiandu, some medicines in the medicine field have become refined, but there are not so many medicine fields in Fanghan. Oh. The individual elixir is stimulated, the drug is highly condensed, and the metamorphosis is changed into a small person. Some even have some trees on the mountain, such as bamboo, nanmu, red sandalwood, Venus mahogany, etc. derived from the illusory human form. For a time, the whole reincarnation peak, the medicine is pervasive, and the vitality is full, but because it is blocked by the Yang Yu Jianzhen, and the giant of the giants, a little bit of vitality does not leak out, so the spirits and spirits accumulate each other. Gradually released Baoguang. All the disciples have seen it. If they can enter the reincarnation peak to practice, the progress will surely be 1,000 miles. At this moment, the moment before is a very poor reincarnation peak. Now it has completely turned into a hole in the heavens. Some inner disciples have no doubts. If you enter into it for 10 or 8 years, you can definitely enter the mysterious secret. Step into the sky. Turning his hand over the clouds to cover the rain, Fang Han immediately made the reincarnation peak into a hole in the sky. The greatest role of Qingdi Muhuangong is also reflected at this time. It is not lethal, defensive, but a rejuvenation machine, point grass, create a hole, enhance physical fitness, and refine alchemy. After creating a good place for the heavens, Fang Han looked at the quartet and stared at the mountain where Meng Xiaobai lived. How is it necessary to deal with Meng Xiaobai? Let's take a look first. Let's fight between the two tigers. Many true disciples, the elders, saw this scene. They all know that Fang Han and Meng Xiaobai also fell on. Recently, it has been faintly passed away. Fang Han used to be in the big mysterious empire and Meng Xiaobai because of buying and selling things. Ha 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 ha. Fang Han. You are too proud to forget the shape. Today let you out of the limelight. A month later, I will practice the heavens and the earth, promoted to the realm of the 9-powered magic, then I will come to see you. It's not a blow to the 55 magical powers. Suddenly, a burst of laughter was conveyed from the peak of Meng Xiaobai, and the sword was so violent and murderous. What? After a month, he can practice the magical system of the 9 heavens and the earth. The magical power is 9-fold, but it is a qualitative leap. It can reinvigorate the reincarnation. In the case of the case, the asterisk is killed, and you can come back again. The law of heaven and earth is extremely powerful. Meng Xiaobai actually said that he can practice in a month. It seems that there is a certain degree of certainty. Otherwise, when the cultivation fails, the loss will be lost. Meng Xiaobai naturally has his grasp. But the Ghost Emperor was killed by Fang Han. Even if Meng Xiaobai practiced the law of heaven and earth, it would not be the opponent of Fang Han. That can be said that it is not necessarily. You have not seen these days, what is the momentum of Meng Xiaobai's revelation? The heaven and earth law he has cultivated must be amazingly powerful, and may even be comparable to He Qian. It is true that these Qian Meng Xiaobai practiced to persuade, and the momentum was too great. It seems that the whole world would be swallowed up by him and spit it out. His knowledge is much higher than ours. I have looked at the strength of Fang Han and dare to challenge. I am afraid there is really something to do with the bottom of the box. Look at it. A month later, Fang Han and Meng Xiaobai fight. Who won? I am afraid that in the next few hundred years, he and He Qian are vying for the head. Yeah, we will make plans again. Several elders voiced each other. Fang Han swept around and said to the mountain peak where Meng Xiaobai lived, "Well, I will wait for you for a month. Look at the magical parasitic scorpion that you practiced and possessed to become a half-human, half-devil monster. In the end, how powerful is it? Double is useless. After January, you can see the real chapter on your hand." Meng Xiaobai changed his tone, and a long way, the sword gas was all gathered, and he returned to the mountain where he lived, and he converges. "Hey!" Fang Han showed a cold smile. All Guanghua received, he fell into his own Dan Fang. This time, the momentum has been successful, and then he will wait for himself to completely defeat Meng Xiaobai, and then many disciples and Presbyterians in the martial art will come to express themselves and show themselves to themselves. In particular, some elders, presumably have seen their hopes of vying for the head, will come to Pakistan, and plant a friendly seed here. Take the country as a metaphor, the true disciple is the prince of each, and the elders are the ministers of the princes, the gates of the nobles. There is a relationship of interest between each other. Which true disciple has hoped to be the head in the future, of course, to hold it, otherwise it will be very difficult in the future. Fang Han, it's weird, you make such a big noise, that Meng Xiaobai actually has the patience of death, especially if you lick his half-human and half-devil monster. According to his character, I guess I will kneel down and fight directly with you. Regardless of the consequences. Hey, strange way. Meng Xiaobai's character has actually changed, and he has been stunned by half-man and half-devil. There is nothing. He is practicing hard, and wants to turn the essence of Guangpeng's life into his own realm of heaven and earth, and step into the realm of supernatural powers. So obviously know that I am demonstrating to him, he is also patient. When is it? He can practice the law of heaven and earth, that is, the day when he and I fought against me. And the more I swear at him, the more patient he is, the more he can endure with this patience, and the endless killing, until the peak of the accumulation, when I broke out, I was put to death. After January, he will certainly be able to practice the law of heaven and earth. I would like to see if he combines the law of the life of the energy of the Peng Peng, which will be strong. Fang Han saw this very clearly, but waiting for him to become a law of heaven and earth, I don't know what it will look like. If you don't want to talk about it, let the Red Yi King and He Xianzi step into the magical mystery. Next, Fang Han did more things. He turned the blood of the god of the devil into a ****** rain, joined his own Qing emperor, and made a pure spirit into the Red Yi. Under the help of this huge force, the owner of the county and the crane fairy finally began to change and stepped into the mysterious secret. Hongyi County Lord stepped into the magical mystery. After the Haid fairy stepped into the mysterious mystery, it began to change. A white feather was shining, and the whole crane seemed to be gasified. Mana between the spit, although not comparable to the black water king snake that changed on the same day, but it is not much different. When a powerful animal achieves supernatural powers, mana is much stronger than humans. Next, as long as the crane fairy cannot bear the death of the thunder, it can take away the feathers and turn them into human figures. But this is a very dangerous thing, and no one can help. And the nebula baby, after getting the spirit of the demon ****** flesh and blood, and Fang Han enlightened the 20 kinds of stars and magical powers of the anti-star thief. In the end, when I saw the Stars Promise book, this superb magical power, suddenly a shock, awkward differentiation, entered the 4 yin and yang of Shentong. The magical power of the Stars Promise book is the use of the power of the stars to evolve a promise of heavenly books. The mystery is extremely deep. There is no such mysterious power in the stars, and it is not known where the star tremble is learned. Of course, Star Thief did not cultivate this magical power to the highest level. Shop everything you need. See more. Shop everything you need. Open AliExpress app. Shop everything you need. See more. Shop everything you need. Open AliExpress app. At the beginning of Fang Han, I didn't think that this magical power was great. However, when I met the Stars Promise book with the Nebula baby, I found that it was really profound, and it was not under the 5 emperors. Stars Promise book. Stars Promise book. Is it? Is it the rumor that the promise of the Promised Star Palace? After cultivation to the highest level, you can refine the stars in the vast sky and take them to the book. Nebula Baby suddenly said, "It seems to think of something." The whole body shocked, the chubby face showed the expression of a lot of candied fruit. Good. The promised star palace? What is the martial art? Is there another sect in addition to the 10,000 doctrines? Fang Han frowned and asked casually. The promised star palace is not a martial art in the world of Xianhuang. It is a big sect in the depths of the distant starry sky. It is very large. I am afraid that even if it is comparable to Tai, it is only a legend, very early and very early. At that time, their people once came to the world of Xianhuang. I mentioned it occasionally. I also found the history of clues in the books of our group of stars. The Nebula Baby scratched his head. Fang Han said that it is the 10 gates of the immortal road, the 7 paths of the magic road, the 5 demon roads, and the devils of the earth in this world of Xianhuang, but there are many hidden ancient masters in the whole world of Xianhuang. There are also the giants who lived in the space faults. These are the characters who are not born. The retreat is tens of thousands of years. Not to mention the depths of the distant stars, I don't know how to hide countless mysteries and monks. Think about it, let's think about it. In the Taiyuan Xianfu, I met the mysterious man. There is also the magic deity sealed in the 5 elements. The master who has sealed the demon statue has turned the 5 fingers into the 5 elements. There are many more outside the domain. In the world of Xianhuang, there are places where even Huangquan is not willing to go. After we travel around, we must be careful and careful. I also nodded. I have not heard of the Promised Star Palace, but I am able to. The martial art that created the means of the Stars Promise book is definitely very horrible. The power of the stars is the most mysterious and expansive force in the universe, and the most difficult to manipulate, because the power of each star, each different if unauthorized acquisition integration, in all likelihood will explode. Great, then their lives will be a variety of supernatural powers the stars, but did not teach his disciples. This is the reason, so if you want to practice power of the stars, they have to be very careful. Fang Han smiled and laughed. After a month, Meng Xiaobai practiced the magical system of the 9 heavens and the earth. I have to sort out all the channels of the gods again. At that time, there is a certain victory. This person can also have a vow. The hidden killer is not to be underestimated. After practicing the 5 emperors, you can at least be invincible. He proudly said that he had great confidence in the 5 emperors. 6 eyes sealed the monument. Fang Han did not speak, but his mind was moved. The most powerful magic weapon of Zhao Shuani was collected. The 6-headed monument was revealed. These 6 monuments have been completely eliminated since Zhao Shuani was killed. Quiet. However, Fang Han feels that this magic weapon is extremely powerful, but he is interested in enlightenment. 6 monuments, the intricate runes above, and the one in the center of the monument reveal mystery everywhere. Little by little, infiltrating his own mana, Fang Han found that his mana was strongly resisted by the gods, and could not help but glance. Suddenly, the hand was turned over and the golden dragon of Zhao Shuani was taken out and carefully searched. Zhao Shuani's Jindan has 27 kinds of great supernatural powers. In addition to the Black Day Wind Disaster, and Big Day Fire, and so on, one of his own supernatural powers, Fang Han discovered the deep core of Jindan, the mysterious magic of the door. This magical power, the shape seems to be a stack of books, a list, bling. In the deep core of Zhao Shuani, Jindan, it constitutes the core skeleton of the entire Jindan. It is not the core of Jindan that is not composed of the 5 elements of magic. Fang Han was shocked. In the field of monasticism, whether it is the life of the symbol or the life of the golden dragon, the core of the composition is the 5 elements of magic. Because it is necessary to first condense the 5 elements into a large array, and then condense with the 5 internal organs, and finally turn into the 5 elements of life, even the 5 emperors are no exception. However, the composition of the Zhao Shuani Jindan skeleton is actually another kind of ***, not the 5 elements. This is a subversive practice. How can this be? What is this technique? Function ***. Fang Han immediately came to mind, carefully enlightened. and gradually found some clues. This structure is called Jiao Shuani, the life of Jin Dan called function ***. It is the emptiness of the six inexplicable elements entering the six hexagrams intertwined with each other, and then practicing into six sacred scorpions, turning into a sealing of the gods, with the unmeasurable role of ghosts and gods. In the midst of the void, there are many kinds of vitality, not to mention the five elements of vitality, the essence of the sun and the moon, the dense light of the stars, the various metamagnetics, and the inexplicable elements leaked from the mysterious voids. The cultivation of magical powers is the collection these energies take crude and fine, filter harmful, and collect a beneficial process. Between heaven and earth, hundreds of millions of vitality, there are various methods of collection, either swallowing, or using spiritual meditation, or prayer induction, or mana condensation. Now, to seal God, it is to use a special collection method to collect 6 of the millions of kinds of vitality. 5 elements of the spirit of the 5 dirty, 6 eyes sealed the gods into the 6. Fang Han licked his lips. He felt that his enlightenment benefited a lot. It is simply opening a portal for recultivation. It can be said that he feels that he is closer to the longevity. The internal organs are the heart, liver, kidney, lungs, and spleen. 6 sputum is gall, large intestine, triple burner, bladder, stomach. They are all important organs of the human body and they are indispensable. Function **** is actually like this. I saw it for the first time today. I only know that this martial art is a wonderful work. It turns out that it is not a skeleton with 5 elements, but a ritual of 6 hexagrams. This is indeed thought-provoking. Unfortunately, Fang Han, in your knowledge of the sea, cannot accommodate the power of a golden dragon. Otherwise, refining this golden Dan, get the gods, your life will be further 6 will be further concise and the body will be stronger. Shuyuan will also increase. At the same time, he and Fang Han also realized this function ***, and they also praised this magical power. I can't merge, I will recultivate. I am very interested in this god. It is good to use it to exercise. Fang Han closed his eyes and used the idea of function ***, taking the magic of the gods, thinking about the depths of the universe. Among the hundreds of millions of spaces, there are 6 kinds of vitality, which are conveyed from the void and enter their bodies. His spirit is extremely powerful, and his life can be called invincible. This idea, not long after, really feels that the surrounding space is shocked. There is a very subtle mysterious spirit, being ingested into the 6 scorpions, moisturizing the body. Generally, as long as the mental strength is strong enough, you can ingest it. Only the celestial spirit can only be ingested after breaking through the longevity secret. 6 mysterious, Function Yuan, was photographed in his 6 hexagrams, and gradually became entangled with the 5 elements of the 5 internal organs, resulting in some new changes. This video will end here. Like video and subscribe to my channel.